Hi cuties! I hope you guys are doing so well. So today I'm going to be unboxing and testing out a nail subscription box from Daily Charme. This is actually going to be my first time ever using anything from Daily Charme. And the reason I bought it is because this is supposed to be their Halloween season edition box of the year. So at least I hope that's what I received. So we're gonna open it and find out. And we're gonna do some epic nails with whatever supplies are inside. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so here's the box. I don't know what that mark is. It looks like an oil stain of some sort. I have no idea when that got there, but it's there. We're just going to ignore it. Y'all know that I like me some colorful stuff. I like colors, especially rainbow colors. Okay, let's just open this up. Oh my goodness. Yes. I see orange, I see black, I see purple, I see adorable Halloween themed stuff. So I was a little worried for like a second there that this wasn't going to be the Halloween themed one because I kind of just bought the nail subscription box in September and it said that it would be like the fall season one, but I didn't know if it would be specifically Halloween, but it did not disappoint. Well, it didn't disappoint yet. Let's... Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna put this to the side. I also appreciate the fact that there were no like spiders to jump scare us in this one. So already I'm impressed. I'm impressed and I literally just opened the box. So let's actually go through the stuff. Calling all charmers. This is an invitation to show off your spooktacular Halloween nails brewed with Charme Box goodies for a chance to be featured on the @DailyCharm Instagram page. Nice. And, oh, I think this is a list of all of the supplies that are in this box. So we're not gonna look at that because I kind of want to be surprised. I didn't look at any of the supplies that come in this box because I want it to be like a mystery box. Even though they list out all the supplies you get, this is a mystery box for me. Okay, so under all of these noodles, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Stickers! If y'all know me, you know that I love me some nail stickers so much. So first, we've got some really adorable pumpkin and like fall orange and brown and yellow leaves with pumpkins and mushrooms. Adorable. Some spiders with webs and like red rhinestones, which is really pretty. I think I have some similar to this, but I don't know if I have those exactly. And then these ones, which are more of like an airbrush look. I don't know if you can really tell the designs on there. There's like a jack-o'-lantern, a web, a cat, a witch hat. Oh my goodness, these are adorable. Oh, wait, I need to see if I can get up closer. Okay, I think this is as close as I can get. But look at that little Grim Reaper with the little sparkles and the ghost and the skull and the bats. These are so adorable. Okay, so far I am really excited. I think this is going to go better than the Betsy mystery box, to be honest. I was kind of disappointed with the stuff that I got in that one, but it's okay. It's fine. Whoa, okay, right away, these jumped out at me, so I had to pull them out. They are these like elegant looking spider gems, like a really, really sparkly ruby on the back, and then they're really big. Honestly, borderline creepy, but like creepy in a really pretty way. Like they kind of disturb me, but they're still really pretty. Then there's these really small miniature like aurora rhinestones and gems. I think this would be called opal rhinestones. They have this sort of, I don't know how to explain them. Like they're not aurora, but they're like sort of aurora, but they're brown and like yellow and autumn colors. But yeah, really cute. I also just love how colorful all of the packaging is. So cute. Next, I pulled out all of these mini little baggies of nail decals and charms and such. So there's these like flat back silver and gold teardrop shaped ones with, I don't know, kind of like a sun ray design or something like that on them. Kind of looks like a shell. I don't know, I'm not completely sure what you would use that for. Ooh, these are really cute. These are like mushroom and flower decals. These would be really pretty, I feel like, to encapsulate in your nails. A little mishmash of different like seed beads and stones and pearls and stuff, but all of the colors are super fall themed and like orange and gold and iridescent. Oh, so pretty. I feel like you could do some pretty cool 3D nail art, like organic nail art with this. And then we've got these little neon rhinestones. I actually wonder if these are glow in the dark. Let me stick them in my UV lamp real quick. I don't think they are. Next, we've got some more of this like Aurora fabric stuff that I've actually been using, I feel like kind of frequently recently since I've gotten it in like a Vetsy nail subscription box. I've really been liking it. I feel like it creates a really pretty sort of like mermaid Aurora effect. But yeah, I kind of just use these the same as you would use like an Aurora foil for encapsulating to do Aurora nails and stuff like that. Next, we've got some really tiny mini little bow charms and some rhinestones to match. So we've got like a bone cream color, a lavender, and a black. Oh, these black rhinestones are so pretty. They have like a blue reflection to them. I don't think I have any rhinestones like that, but that is really, really, really pretty. And I need to find out what that is called so that I can buy a lot more of them in like all of the different sizes they have. Okay, I see like some fabric, so I'm really curious what this is, and I kind of have an idea, to be honest, but let's take it out. Okay. I'm pretty sure these are like cuffs. Put on like this, and then you can take really, really cute like aesthetic pictures of your nails. I could wear these to take pictures or in a video and you guys wouldn't even know that I'm wearing like a sleeveless top. It would look like I'm wearing some sort of lacy Victorian long sleeve shirt that would be really cute and like witchy for fall. That's actually super duper useful and really original. I feel like I've never seen this before, and also you guys probably don't know this, but sometimes like after I've done my nails, sometimes I will go and I will put on a black sweater that I have so that I can take pictures of my nails, because some nails, not all of them, like with these ones, it's not specifically true, but maybe with these ones, sometimes nails, they'll like pop out better on a black background. These are going to be really useful for taking really pretty nail pictures. Okay, there's actually just a couple more things because a lot of the box is just filled with these like noodles. Okay, next we have a little witch hat. Hello. No way. Oh, it's a hair clip. Hold up. That is so cute. I don't know if this looks good because it's just like in my viewfinder, but I'm gonna leave it. Adorable. I love it. Okay, next we have a cuticle pusher, which, you know, it doesn't look like the best cuticle pusher that I've ever seen. Looks pretty standard, but it is very pretty. So could always use more cuticle pushers, because honestly, I use cuticle pushers mostly never for pushing back my cuticles. I'm always using cuticle pushers to like scoop out glitter or like open stuff with like the little flat edge because I have long nails on and stuff. So no, a cuticle pusher is just nice to have around. Okay, although this is a daily charm box, they did include 2 gel polishes, because I think, you know, I've never actually used Daily Charm before, but I think that they are really well known for some of their cat eye gels. That's just mostly what I've seen from them, at least, like on Pinterest mostly, because that's like literally where I spend all of my time. If I'm not editing videos or doing homework or like online shopping, I'm on Pinterest. All right, let's see. Oh, wow. That is a really, really pretty color, like code thing. That's so cute and pretty. I love the little heart. Honestly, it's those little details like that that just make me smile and make my heart so happy to open new nail supplies. But this one is called C67 Autumn Aura. Ooh. I'll definitely have to swatch this one so you guys can see it, but this one's like a goldish, orangish red cat eye gel polish with really pretty like hollow flecks in it. Kind of like chunky glitters. Super pretty. And then just one more gel polish. This one's a purple. Oh, I'm so happy. Have I done like, I can't believe that literally the only purple nail I've done for Halloween this year has been this, like this singular purple nail with my custom acrylic. So hopefully this is a really pretty cat eye purple because I will be making a purple Halloween set with it if it is. Anyway, this one's called Celestial Charm. It's C69. Ooh. So pretty. Probably really hard to just tell on camera on the brush, which is why I'm going to swatch it. But this one is like a purple cat eye gel with like a pink and gold reflection to it. Very pretty. Just one more thing. Ooh, which is these little sequins and this purple foil. I appreciate that it comes taped shut so that all the glitters don't go everywhere. But there's this, which is, oh, it's like the gold sort of flakies, but it's purple. And I'm probably not gonna open this one right now because I will probably get them everywhere. But yeah, these are just some like blue, almost yellowish, iridescent star and moon sequins. I wonder if these ones are glow in the dark. Let me stick them in my lamp. Inside my lamp, they are glowing a bit. They're glow in the dark. They're glow in the dark. Yo, 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 yo. Okay, can you tell? You're not gonna be able to tell on camera. Okay, I'll pop in a video right here of how they glow in the dark because obviously you're not gonna be able to tell with all of my really bright lights right now. But yeah, that is the last thing. Oh, except for this little lollipop, which is a grape flavored drumstick. I used to love these drumsticks actually. These tiny drumsticks bring me back to like when I was a really little kid and I would go to the barber shop with my dad and they would always have like a little like bucket of drumsticks that like little kids could take when they went in there. Alrighty, so that is everything that came in this nail subscription box from Daily Charm for October. I'm really excited to do a set of spooky / autumn nails with all this stuff. I'm going to go remove my Hello Kitty Halloween nails that I did with my custom acrylic and refill in my hard gel layer and stuff. And I'm actually gonna do the removal process and protective hard gel base layer with you guys today since I usually get a lot of questions about it. And I do have a full super in-depth video on how I do it, but y'all told me that you like when my videos are long and I'm gonna do it anyway, so I might as well do it with you. So let's just quickly get these nails off and do my protective hard gel base layer. So first things first, we have to cut off all of the extra length and I'm going to use these like chunky nail clippers to do so. Normally for more of like my thicker acrylic application or poly gel, I would use some big jewelry wire cutters, but I have no idea where those went. So I'm hoping that these will do the trick. All right, so from here, I actually file down all of the acrylic until I reach my hard gel base layer. I don't soak anything off. So I'm going to get out my e-file and I'm actually going to be testing out this new portable e-file, like without a wire or anything like that from MelodySusie. I am an affiliate with MelodySusie, so usually when they have a new product that they launch, they send it to me so that I can like test it out and decide if I want to recommend it and stuff. So I'm going to be testing this out today and I'm really excited because this is literally the thinnest e-file pen I have ever used. This is from the MelodySusie e-file that I usually use, and I thought that this one was really thin, but like I feel like this white one is even thinner. So I think that should be nice. Hopefully that will help my hand not to like start cramping and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna be using this. I did fully charge it, so it should be all good to go. And here are the e-file bits that came with it. I absolutely love the e-file bits that MelodySusie includes with their e-files. They always include like the most essential ones. Like all of these diamond cuticle bits are really great. I love this round circle one, but my absolute favorite bit in the entire world, which is the mini mandrel. I feel like they always include this with their e-files, which I really appreciate. And also this safety bit, which is a medium coarseness, and it is a ceramic one, and this is the one that I'm going to be using to remove all of the acrylic. So I'm just gonna push that in here. Since it doesn't actually have like a lock and unlock feature, you just kind of shove it in there. My first e-file ever was actually like a starter MelodySusie one, sort of like this. Similar to the Beatles one that I just recently reviewed, where you double click it in order to change from forward to reverse. And it also has a pause function. Okay, so before we start doing any filing, it is essential to take out your dust collector and also wear a mask. I always wear a mask whenever I'm doing a lot of filing, because even though you're using a dust collector, dust can still like hit your face and fly up and stuff like that. So always want to make sure to wear a mask. And if you have glasses nearby, it's probably also a good idea to put on some glasses as well to protect your eyes. I think my glasses are downstairs though, and I'm too lazy to go get them, so it's fine. So I'm going to take off the acrylic at speed 15. I might go up to speed like 17 if I feel like it's not being removed as fast as I'd like. But after doing nails for a while, I learned that it's kind of unnecessary to use your e-file past speed like 17 or 18. So we're just gonna sit here for like 25 minutes. Well, I'm gonna sit here for 25 minutes. It'll be sped up for you, so don't worry. But it usually takes me about 25 minutes to file off all of the product, which might seem like a long time, but I like to take my time with it and make sure that I'm not filing too fast so that I don't accidentally file into my hard gel layer and my natural nail. I'm not gonna lie, filing off the acrylic on just my thumb took like the entire battery in like 15 minutes. So after I did my thumb, I actually switched to my main e-file, which is this one, just with this bit, because that original safety bit, this one for filing off acrylic was just not doing it. This one is just a lot more coarser and gets the job done so much faster. So yeah, I did switch to this one, which is quite a bit more expensive than this one for filing off the rest of my acrylic. I'm gonna switch back to this one now to do some of like my prep with the mini mandrel. But honestly, I would recommend that if you're going to be doing a lot of acrylic, or you're going to be a beginner with acrylic, that you honestly just invest in one of the more expensive e-files, because they're a lot more powerful. They're just gonna make your life a lot easier. But if you are just going to be doing like Gel X and like polygel and stuff, I think that this will be perfect to start with. Let's get out the mini mandrel and stick her in there. And then I'll get out one of these little mini sanding bands. I'm not exactly sure what grit they are because it doesn't say, but I'm assuming that it's just like a 180 grit, or like a 100 or 180 grit, which should be perfect. I usually like to pull it out a little bit. I don't like it to be like all the way in there. And then whenever I switch out my sanding bands, I always like to take a file and file the edges of the sanding band at the top, just so that I don't cut myself, because I will cut myself if that is sharp. Because especially if I'm using my left hand, my hand is bound to slip a little bit. Now that we've got off all of the acrylic, my nails are looking so crusty dusty, and there is a little bit of like leftover product here and there, but I didn't want to go any further with my really coarse bit because I didn't want to file too far. So now I'm going to take this 180, I assume, grit sanding band with my mini mandrel, and on speed 5 on my e-file, still in reverse because I'm using my left hand, I'm going to go around my cuticle area and sidewalls, and I'm going to remove any of the dead skin skin that might have like grown onto my nail bed. Just make sure that my cuticles are really clean, and also make sure that there's no more leftover product on my hard gel layer. Basically, I'm just using the mini mandrel to get rid of all of the dead skin and cuticle and make sure everything is nice and clean and smooth. Don't apply too much pressure though, or be too rough with it around your cuticle area, especially if you have a lot of natural nail grown in. I don't, because I was only wearing that set for a week, but if you've had your set on for like a month or so and you have a lot of natural nail that's grown in and you want to use the mini mandrel on your natural nail to remove your cuticle, I would recommend going down to an even lower speed, like speed 3, and then barely even touch the sanding band to your natural nail. Just touch it to it light enough to remove the dead skin. Don't put any pressure, just like hover it over your nail basically. But since I'm not working on directly on my natural nail, it's going to look like I'm being rough. I'm not really being that rough, but yeah. Aside from being super dusty, they're looking a lot more clean now. So the last thing that I'm gonna do with my file before I go wash off all the dust is I'm gonna take my wooden file, just like my regular 100 by 180 wooden file, and I'm gonna make sure that the free edge of all my nails is looking nice and clean. I don't know, sometimes I like to round them off, or sometimes I like to make them look more square. I just don't want them to look super jagged. Okay, I washed off all of the dust from the filing because we are done filing. This is the point where I would go in and add like cuticle remover and then take my cuticle nippers and like cut off any dead skin on my cuticles. But since I kind of did that recently and there's not that much dead skin that it's like bothering me a lot, I'm gonna skip that. And honestly, the hard gel layer looks pretty good, but I do think there are some places where I might have filed off a little bit, or I had to file off some liftings. So I am going to take my hard gel. This is the hard gel that I use. It is the IBD pink filler gel. It's a hard gel, so you cannot soak it off. I got this one from Amazon and it's super crusty because I've had it for forever. Oh, and apparently it was tilted, so it almost got everywhere. Anyway, so I'm just gonna put a really thin layer of this to fill in any of the places where I accidentally filed off the hard gel. But before I do that, I am going to apply a really thin base coat, and I'm going to use my absolute favorite base gel in the whole world, which is the Yogo Zombie Base Gel. It is amazing, and I have never ever experienced a nail like popping off or anything like that, or lifting with this base gel. So this is my new go-to base gel for adhering things to my natural nails, which is basically nowadays just my hard gel layer. Since this base gel is really quite thick though, I am going to just take out like one brushful of it, if you can say that, and I'm going to put that on my palette, just so that I can use a separate brush instead of like the applicator brush and get a much thinner application of it, because I really don't need the base gel to be super thick and bulk up the hard gel protective layer more than it's already gonna bulk up my natural nail. But before I put that on, I am going to take some isopropyl alcohol. I use 91% isopropyl alcohol, and I'm going to make sure that my nails are really nicely dehydrated and clean, and there is no more dust on them. I did just wash them, but yeah, so this is mostly just to dehydrate them, but it's also just an extra precaution to make sure they're really clean, because you don't really want to trap dusty crusties and dirties underneath your nail product, because that will cause things to grow and you don't want that. I'm going to use this brush that is from Sweetie Nail Supply. I really like it, but you can use absolutely any brush that you have. I'm going to just literally just dab it into the base gel like so. Just dab it in there. Like, this base gel should be enough for all 5 nails. And then I'm going to put it on my nail. And I'm going to make sure that I really get it on any part of my nail that doesn't have the hard gel layer on it already. So like any of my natural nail that might be peeking through, whether it's a little bit of growth, or if it's in places where I accidentally filed a little too much, or if it's in areas where I had to file off some lifting. Just make sure that the base gel is covering everything. Some of you guys tell me that you get lifting when you do your nails, which is super annoying. I absolutely hate lifting. And honestly, what I would recommend is that you try a different base gel, because if you're doing all your extensive prep, roughing up your nail, dehydrating, priming, removing all your cuticle and all that stuff, and you're still getting your nails lifting or popping off, it's most likely because your base gel does not work well with your natural nail, because some products work better for some people than others. So if you're having trouble with lifting, I really recommend trying a different base gel, and you might just have to try a few before you find one that really works well for you. But honestly, the Korean nail products are honestly really expensive, but I think if there's one product that you're going to invest in that is super high quality, it should be a good base gel and top coat, because your base gel is what's going to help keep your nails on for longer, and your top coat is also just going to make sure that they're super shiny and stain proof and glossy for the whole like 5 weeks or whatever, however long you're gonna have them on. But yeah, even if you don't get the Korean gel products, it doesn't matter. Just try some other base gels that you haven't tried before, and hopefully that will help your nails to not pop off or have lifting. So now that we've got that epic base gel on there, we can put on our hard gel. So I'm just gonna take the exact same brush and I'm going to dip it in there and kind of like pull up like that. I don't want to get too much hard gel on my brush, because for me personally right now, I'm just filling in my hard gel layer. What I used to do was put like a slip layer and then kind of float the hard gel on top. But what I've come to find out is that if you're just doing like a fill, you really don't need to do that. So I kind of just start from the bottom where the most hard gel needs to be filled in, and then kind of just slowly pull it up like so. There we go. And then I like to hold it upside down like this for about 20 seconds, just so that the hard gel can like self-level and come to the center and create a nice apex, a nice structure that will give your nails a lot more strength. Ew, also my scab is peeling off. Sorry, don't look at that. And once I feel like it's good, I like to take my pin cure light and flash cure it like so. Just a warning, this IBD hard gel really does give pretty bad heat spikes, like really bad heat spikes sometimes. So if you're someone who really does not like heat spikes or is kind of sensitive to pain, I would be very careful. And if you start feeling a heat spike, kind of just quickly remove your nail from the light and wait for it to cool down and then put it back. And then yeah, just keep doing that. Perfect. So there's that one. Now I'm just going to fill in the hard gel for all of the rest of them. It's really quick and easy. Honestly, applying the hard gel only takes like 10 minutes or less. I'm getting faster at it because I literally do this every single time I change out my sets. Like removing the nails and putting the hard gel layer on every time in of itself takes 45 minutes to an hour for me every single time. So yeah, doing your nails definitely takes time. I don't know, you have to really enjoy it and like it to do it all the time, but I do. I like it. Also, if you don't know, I put this hard gel layer on my nails to create kind of a buffer between my natural nail and my nail extensions, because as you saw when I was filing off my acrylic, in some areas I did file off more of the hard gel than I did in others. And since I'm not a pro and probably will never be a pro with the e-file, and I'm not very good at it, I'm also impatient, so I can get like distracted and not really pay attention to what I'm doing. I can file too much sometimes, so I want there to be that buffer hard gel layer so that I'm not filing directly into my natural nail. I'm filing into the hard gel layer. And it also just makes it really easy for me to take off my sets really often without having to rough up my natural nail and file my natural nail so often, because I redo my sets every week. So I gave that all a full cure, and at this point is when you would just go in straight with like your Gel X tips or your regular tips and then do polygel or whatever you're gonna do, and you wouldn't have to rough up your hard gel or anything, and you wouldn't have to put a base gel. But since I'm actually going to take a break and like go downstairs and eat dinner and stuff, I don't want my nails to be sticky so that everything in the entire world can stick to them, all the dirt and dust and everything. So I'm going to wipe off the sticky layer with some isopropyl alcohol, and then I will be back in a little bit so that we can do, well, literally a second for you guys, but in a little bit for me, so that we can do some epic nails with the following nail supplies that we got in the Daily Charm subscription box. All right, I'm back a few hours later and it's time to put some full cover tips on. So I'm gonna use the same tips that I used last time. I have them on this hand. They're the extra long sculpted stiletto tips from Poway. I really love them, so we're gonna use these again. But there's a couple things that we still have to do before we can put those on. So I'm gonna start by roughing up the shiny layer of the hard gel base layer that I just applied. I'm just gonna rough it up to make sure that the gel can still hold on and grip on really well so that there's no lifting, and get rid of all of the shiny layer. Okay, so after that's done, I wipe off all the dust, of course, with some more isopropyl alcohol. And if you notice the lighting change, I realized I forgot to turn on one of my lights. So yeah, that's why that happened. And actually, I know, another box to open. It's nothing super crazy, but recently I have realized I have just been wanting to try every single peel off base coat on the planet to see which one will work best with my hard gel base layer. A lot of you guys were recommending the McCart peel off base coat, so I bought it from Amazon, of course. So we are gonna try it today. This is actually my first ever, one of my first ever McCart products. The only other McCart stuff that I have is polygel. So cute. So the applications, it says prep your natural nails, apply peel off base coat, cure for 60 seconds, apply gel, top coat, everything. Okay, and then it says literally just lift the edge and peel it off. So it shouldn't need any remover solution, but some of you guys were like swearing by this easy peel remover stuff from Amazon. It comes in like a dropper. I'm not gonna open it right now because I'm not gonna use it right now, but when I remove this, I will probably be using this, and I'll do that in a different video. Anyway, let's put this on, shall we? It's like as thick as any other base coat. So I'm just gonna put a nice generous layer of that on everything. I know a lot of peel off base methods are meant to be used on natural nails, so I might never find one that works very well with my hard gel base layer. And honestly, that's okay with me if I end up having to just file off my sets every time, but I'm kind of just determined to try my best to find a peel off method that's gonna work with my hard gel base layer. But you know, if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna cry. I don't know why my hands are so sweaty tonight, but I feel like they're leaving condensation marks everywhere and it's kind of gross. Anyway, I'm going to size out these tips now really quick. I usually like to size them out before I put the base gel on because I really hate how the base gel is super sticky when you're trying to size them out, but I forgot, so we can just do it after. It's fine. So I've got all of my tips sized out, so now I need to prep the area where it's gonna meet my natural nail, and I think I'm actually just gonna use my mini mandrel to do that really quick because it's just really easy to do it with a mini mandrel. I love the mini mandrel for doing this because it's so skinny and it just fits into the nail perfectly. You don't need to do this at a very high speed, just like a speed 3 is fine. Not doing anything drastic, just slightly roughing up the surface. RIP. I had one nail left and my e-file ran out of battery. So if you were to use this e-file at this point, you could probably just plug it in and use it while it's plugged in. But I don't feel like going and finding a space to plug in another wire. So we're just gonna have to use my acid-free primer to prep the last one, which if you were not aware is also a great way to prep your Gel X tips, or any tips really. So for the tips that I did prep with my e-file, I'm gonna make sure to brush them off with a scrubby brush to make sure that there's no e-file dust left in them. And even though the directions for the peel off base coat said you don't have to wipe off the sticky layer, since I did do some filing and stuff, there's definitely dust on the sticky layer now, so I'm gonna have to wipe it off. And finally, I can take out my Beetles nail glue gel, which is my favorite thing to put on my full cover tips at the moment, and my gooseneck lamp to help me flash cure the tips on. And I'm just gonna pop all those on there. It might be a little confusing why I'm making sure to do like extensive prep. Although I'm using a peel off base coat, you'd think I'd want them to just pop off. But the problem is, and the reason why I have such an issue trying to find a peel off base gel that works for me, is because I want the nails to last like 2+ weeks. I don't want any of my nails popping off or lifting during the time that I'm wearing them. I want them to be solid nails, like cemented to my hands until I decide to take them off, which is a lot to ask, I know, but that's why I'm trying so many different peel off base gels. Okay, I gave that a 60-second full cure, so they are on there cemented. And honestly, they look so good. Like, I did not get a lot of spillage. There might be a couple air bubbles here and there, but overall, so good. I'm not gonna have to do like barely any filing. I am just gonna take my mini mandrel and seal in around the cuticles and sidewalls, just like, you know, file around there a little bit. But before I do that, y'all know what's up. I'm gonna put on my no wipe glossy top coat underneath all of these nails, on the underbelly, because that just makes sure that it stays nice and clean under there. Because sometimes the underside of your nails can have like a tacky surface, either because of the nail glue gel that you use to put them on, or because of the primer that you use to prime them. So if you have your nails on for like 5+ weeks and you notice that the underside of your nails starts to look like dusty and kind of grody, try putting a non-wipe glossy top coat on the underbellies after you put on your full cover tips, whatever. Just put on a glossy top coat. I promise it'll save your life. Okay, so here are the nails after I've filed all around the cuticles and stuff and used my wooden file to make sure that they were like super straight on the edges and everything. I also kind of dulled the tips a tiny bit because when they're super pointy, I am afraid to pet my cats and my dogs, and I'm afraid I'm going to hurt people. I could even hurt myself with these. Sometimes I scratch like my face or something and then I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh my goodness, where did that red mark come from? And I'm like, oh yeah, I have sharp stiletto nails and I decided to scratch my face. Anyway, so here they are. I'm actually going to put a quick base coat on them because I feel like putting a base coat on your tips always just makes like a nice solid base to do any polish or nail art on top of. It's also getting kind of late and there's a large chance that I might stop filming in a few minutes and finish these in the morning. So I like to make sure that after I've buffed the nails, I put my first layer of gel on because any other gel will easily stick to the base gel. I don't know if it's really necessary, but I like doing it, so. Okay, the extensions are finally finished and ready for some gel polish. And I realized I said I was gonna swatch these and then I completely forgot. So let's swatch these. So first let's do C67 Autumn Aura. And then C69, Celestial Charm. Okay, I realize that this is not the easiest to see, but I feel like you can't see like how pretty these gels are if it's not on a black background. And it's honestly not even showing up on camera very well. So I'm gonna pop in a video of what these look like from my phone camera because these are so pretty. And I'm absolutely obsessed with the one with the little flecks of like hollow glitters in it. So I think that I'm definitely gonna use that one. And we might do more of a fall themed set with those small rhinestones. So it is the next morning because I decided to go to bed and finish in the morning, obviously. If you do your nails yourself, you know sometimes it can take like 3 days just to finish one set. So here's the plan. I thought about it a little bit and I want to use this cat eye gel. So the C67, I'm gonna use just this one and I'm gonna go for more of a cute fall autumn set because I've been doing really just spooky sets and I feel like doing something that is more fall-y. You know what I'm saying? Feel like feeling cozy in just like autumn because I feel like Halloween cannot be complete without the cozy feel of autumn. So we're gonna do a more fall inspired set today. So I'm gonna use this one and then I'm gonna use these adorable stickers. Of course, these epic rhinestones to create a couple rhinestone designs and then maybe a couple of these little bows. So that's the plan. Let's do it. So for this cat eye gel, I was originally thinking that I should use it over a black gel polish, but now I'm thinking maybe I should try putting one layer of just the cat eye gel and not magnetizing it, and then putting a second layer and magnetizing that layer. So that is what I'm gonna do actually. I feel like one of you guys told me to do this method with the heart magnet sort of look, and I couldn't remember exactly what the method was, but I remember it included 2 layers of cat eye gel. And then I was watching Rebecca Ramsdale's like newest video and she was trying some cat eye gels from Sweetie Nail Supply and she does it where she puts 1 layer of cat eye gel, doesn't magnetize it, cures it, and then the second layer of cat eye gel is the one that she magnetizes. And I was like, yes, that sounds literally genius. That is what I'm gonna do. Because I don't really want this set to be too dark, which I feel like would happen if I used the black underneath it. Okay, so I've fully cured that, and now I'm gonna apply the second layer of cat eye gel, and this one is the one that I'm gonna magnetize. And I think I'm just gonna go for a sort of simple cat eye look. I'm gonna try to just like push all the magnetic pieces sort of to the center. Okay, now I'm just going to repeat the exact same thing for all of the rest of the nails. So I'm gonna start by putting the first layer of all of them and not magnetizing it at all. It's kind of funny that the last video I did, I opened like a mystery Halloween box and we ended up doing cat eye gel. In this video, I'm also opening a Halloween sort of mystery box and we're doing cat eye gel again. So sorry if you don't like cat eye gel, but I think it's really pretty. And I'm really excited that I'm able to get nice designs with cat eye gel now because I used to literally suck at cat eye gel. I mean, I don't think I'm necessarily very good at it now, but I think I'm definitely getting the hang of it. So now that that first layer of the cat eye gel that has not been magnetized is fully cured, I'm gonna go in with a second layer on each of them, and this is the layer that I'm going to magnetize. Also, it may or may not be a few hours later because I low-key had a family emergency. So yeah, I think the lesson of today is just that if you wanna do your nails, but you're afraid that you're going to have to sit down for like 8 hours and you don't have the time to do that, know that you can sit down in like 1 or 2 hour intervals and it is fine. Don't let that hold you back from doing your nails. An entire set could take you a week and you would be fine because then you'd wear those nails for hopefully like a month. So yeah. There has just been lots of breaks, lots of interruptions during this filming, but it's okay because I'm really trying to work on taking my time to film videos and do my nails so that I'm happy with the things I'm creating and that I don't feel so stressed out when I'm doing it because I hate feeling pressured and rushed, which is how I feel a lot of the time. I love the effect of that. I feel like it looks like a stone. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Whatever. It's cool. I like it. So now I want to try to do some designs with these rhinestones. The only thing is that the only ones that come in here are like the shapes, and there's no like regular rhinestones, so I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to make little patterns with them or whatever. I'm just gonna pour them out into here. Usually I feel like I need the like regular circle rhinestones to match so that I can make like fill in the empty spaces and stuff, but since these are really small, maybe that's not necessary. I like to plan out my rhinestone designs like just on my table before I actually put them on my nails. It's just so much easier to do that. That way you can just put on the rhinestone glue gel and pop them on and go. And to pick up the rhinestones, I am using, of course, my little wax pencil rhinestone picker-upper thingy. I had to switch to planning them out on my tabletop because it was way too unstable trying to plan them out on top of that package. But you guys can't like see them really well on here, so I just did that off camera. I decided to go for something a lot more simple though, and I'm going to just put a really simple, small little rhinestone design on each of the nails. And then I think I might actually pop open these little small like stones and beads and stuff and pearls and kind of just fill in the area around the stones with miscellaneous ones of these, just to make the whole design like a little bit more interesting. So I'll just get out another little tray. Love these trays. They are lifesavers. Pour them out. Okay, and I think to put them on today, I'm actually gonna pop out my Bling It gel from LGM Pro. I just kind of want to use up some of the products that I already have. So oh no, is this one cured shut? Okay, this may or may not be cured shut. Well then, I guess we will try the Ivy Fix gel instead. And I'm gonna use this really small little brush to apply the rhinestone glue gel and to also put on the little stones and stuff. So let's get into it. I think I actually want to put the rhinestone designs more like in the center of the nail. Then maybe if there's like a lot more room on the nail, I'll fill in the surroundings with like a couple cute stickers. Okay, it might just kind of appear kind of chunky, maybe sort of ugly, but I actually really like it. I think it's cute. I feel like it feels like, you know, going searching for cute stones by the river in the forest. So I'm gonna cure it. And then I'll just do the same thing for the rest of them. Actually, before I go on and like do the same thing for all of them, I think I want to use these really cute little bows on a couple of them. Maybe like 2 of them can have this cute little bow just down here. Or we could do like the 3 bows, like one up here, one in the middle, one down here. That would also be really cute. Why not? Let's just do that. Why not? Okay, I think I'll just go with 1 nail with all of the bows on. I think that's really cute. So I'm just going to do the rhinestone design on the last 3 of them. And before I forget, I'm going to take a little bit more of the rhinestone glue gel and I'm gonna go over all of the little stones and stuff, not the rhinestones, just the stones and beads and pearls. I'm gonna put like a little extra coating of the rhinestone glue gel on top of them so that none of them pop off since they're really small. And I also don't want any of like the coating on the beads or the pearls to rub off, even though I probably won't be wearing these for that long. Let's be real. I don't know if it'll become like too much, but I do think that adding some of like the leaves and maybe some mushrooms and stuff on just the nails with the rhinestone designs, which are most of them, would be really cute and just make it look more like fall. Because right now it just looks kind of, I don't know, like organic. So I'm just gonna add a couple of these cute little stickers, and before I put them on, I am going to put down a little tiny drop of rhinestone glue gel on my nail, because if you don't know me, I always put on my stickers with rhinestone glue gel just because it really makes sure that they're not going to peel off, and it helps me be able to place them exactly where I want them and move them around until I'm completely happy with them, and then I can flash cure them and they're gonna stay in place. I 100% recommend that if you are having trouble with your stickers lifting or just like placing stickers in general, definitely try putting them on with a little tiny drop of rhinestone glue gel. I am so happy that I added those stickers. It makes them look so much cuter. Also, I had to go in and add like a little heart rhinestone in between the bows because I felt like there was just not enough going on that nail. And I think they're so pretty. I at least really like them. I like them a lot. It reminds me of a fall forest, like a forest in the fall, like going by the creek. Anyway, time to put on the top coat and then we will finally be done. I had so much fun opening this box from Daily Charm, and I definitely want to get more things from Daily Charm in the future. The cat eye gels were so pretty, and overall everything was just so cute and totally my style and aesthetic with all the colors and cuteness and hearts and sparkles. I loved it so much. I hope you guys liked it too. Thank you so much for watching. I think that these nails are going to look so amazing in the sun and maybe even with a flash on at night because they have those little flecks of like hollow glitter in them. I don't know. I'll pop in videos of them outside in the sun and in a flashlight, like in my phone flash at night at the end. But anyway, cuties, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here and all of the love and support that you guys always give me, because I really do love doing this and I love talking to you guys, and you guys just make me so happy when I read your comments because you're all so sweet. It's unbelievable. I love you all so much. I hope that you are having the most amazing day, night, week, life. Sleep well if you're going to sleep. Take care of yourself. Be gracious with yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. You're doing amazing. I will hopefully see you in the next one, cutie. Okay, bye. Mwah.